Lock and load, my battle lambs. It's time for NT Sheep's Digital Wonderlands.
Now, where did the rest of me land?
Welcome back, my little lambs. We used to do Cyber Knight's Flashpoint on Thursdays, but we've kind of finished that game out, so I thought I'd take a look at another great cyber bionic sci-fi inspired game, Bionic Commando from 2009. It's a direct sequel to the game Bionic Commando for the NES that came out in 1988. So, how have things improved over the years? Well, the original game was 2D. Now we're in 3D, so let's see how this new game stacks up and how the story continues.
Nailed ya!
Almost every level or area in the game is going to have collectibles in it, and once you've gathered them all, it's going to unlock a bonus for you. Usually these are things like increasing your weapon damage or increasing your health, even though we don't really have a health bar. So it's a good idea to sit there and try and make sure you get them all. Luckily, they're done in an 8-bit retro style, so they really stick out amongst all the other backgrounds of the game areas.
Bullseye!
Ha! I've still got it.
Ammo pickups in this game usually come in the form of these little round canisters that you just saw me pick up some of. They'll give you a certain amount and refill your weapon up to the max. If you know you're close to the max for your weapon, though, it's a good idea to go ahead and save them for later in case you might be coming back this way. But in most cases, grab every single one you can. You want to keep your weapon topped off as much as possible, especially in this part right now since we're trying to find our bionic arm. Now, for those of you that might be wondering how I know to move so well, and what buttons to use on the controller, it's important to remember this game came out back when game instruction manuals were still a common thing. When you bought a copy of this game, it came on a disc. I think you could get this for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 at the time. There was also a version of it for Windows. It was part of the popular Games for Windows era. So you got a physical copy of the game, and you got a physical game manual which you could read and would give you tips and tactics to use before you even started playing. So that's one reason why some of you are also probably wondering why this game didn't immediately start us off on some sort of tutorial. Well, that's up ahead.
Yes, I know it's unexpected.
Access granted.
What the?
This is gonna hurt. Emily?
Okay, so now we're getting into an actual tutorial. If you thought using the bionic arm in the 2D game from 1988 was a pain in the butt, using it in 3D can really be tricky. The camera angle sometimes can be a little bit off, so it's going to lead to you probably mistiming your jumps and releases and where you attach the arm. So take as much time as you need in the tutorial to get a good feel for how it works. It's been a while since I've played the game like this, and even I had some trouble getting used to it again. Plus, I'm so used to playing Fallout 76 that my mind is just automatically mapped out to the button controls for that, so trying to learn controls for a whole new game right now just really is a fun way of screwing with yourself if you're into that sort of thing.
Let's get you good work. You gather speed by pushing forwards or backwards while swinging. If you do it right, you'll travel further when you release.
This is a good example of how tricky swinging can be. The release now sometimes doesn't seem to pop up at the exact moment that you expect it to, and the moment that you're supposed to release, usually by the time you realize you've seen the release now icon on the screen, it's already way past it. This is almost like trying to get the toasty thing in Mortal Kombat 2 sometimes.
Well, that was a nice move, dumbass.
The leap up is a great maneuver to scale walls vertically or to jump up onto ledges. Good job, soldier. Stay clear of irradiated areas. If you get a radiation warning, get out of there on the double. Also, remember that you can't attach to irradiated surfaces. Green waypoints on the heads-up display show your current mission objective.
Sometimes you might find yourself getting stuck like this. If you just try and move around, you might be able to get yourself released back into a better position. You may be able to hit the button to reel yourself into the top of the beam. Other times, you might just have to sit there and go ahead and let go, and if it's going to be something that leads to your death, you're just going to have to restart.
Your iron boots aren't just for kicks. They also break falls that would otherwise be deadly. The bionic arm will grapple any suitable surface if you keep holding down attach. Impressive. Relays are a key objective to complete some missions. To hack them, you'll need to eliminate all enemies in the immediate vicinity.
The rest of the tutorial is done through selecting these options. There will be collectibles in the areas, so keep an eye out for them. I will be able to get all of them so you can see that. Once you're done, you can exit the tutorial, which is then going to put us back into the main game. But like I said before, if you still want to try and get a feel for how the bionic arm works and how you're going to use it to navigate around the world, keep playing these different areas as much as you want. Throwing an object, I think, is probably one of the trickiest things to get used to in this game. The timing of your button presses has to be super exact, and it's also kind of hard to sit there and see when you need to do it. This block gets thrown up into the air. We can hardly see, though, when it's reached the right point, so a lot of times you're just going to be sitting there trying to pick something up and throw it, and either it's not going to work or it will work. And if you're trying to throw something at enemies that are shooting back at you, that might be a little bit of a problem if you can't get the throw to work just right.
You can exit the tutorial by accessing the relay again.
Okay, so we've got one more collectible to go. I think it's back in the throwing area. What we needed to do when we got into that was turn around, and it was literally right behind us. So let's go check that out. And then we will definitely be done with the tutorial, so we'll be exiting it and getting back into the main game where we're going to get to start testing out all these new skills that we've acquired and see how well we can do. Unfortunately, I was having one of those late night moments where I just could not get my fingers to coordinate properly and hit the buttons in the right combo. It took me several tries to sit there and go ahead and get this completed, but we make it out eventually.
Outpost, do you read me?
Go ahead. What's your status?
We have hostiles within the perimeter.
Okay, so here we are back into the main game. There's a couple of spots here where we can practice our claw again if we want to before we go out the hole inside of this building. And we're going to have one heck of a long jump down, so thankfully we've got those special boots. Let's go ahead and start exploring the world.
Let's do it. Fuck.
Nearly every part of the environment we can use our bionic arm on. If you are still wondering whether or not something can be grappled with it, just remember, the bionic arm has its own little reticule on screen, and it will glow blue when there's something that you can attach or grab. So keep an eye out for that if you're having trouble remembering what you can grab and what you can't. Obviously, one of the easiest things to remember to grab is there's all these light poles and signs. So this is a great little area again if you want to get some more practice swinging in.
Joe, come in. I'm losing you.
Our game character just said what I was thinking. To me, it looked like 100% we had swung through that, so we should have gotten that collectible. But this is going to be something that I think is probably going to be a bit of an ongoing problem. Sometimes you can swing and move through something, and it just doesn't seem to register. We need to take a couple of tries here to get this, and then there's going to be another one later in this level that is really a big pain in the butt.
Relay Station 21 has been activated in Sector Echo 9er. We have a signal. Over. Order received, HQ. Securing area. TF-16 out.
Okay, so now we're in an area where we've got a relay that we're going to have to hack. So, remembering what the tutorial taught us, we got to make sure we clear out all the enemies in the area. Now, there is a little radar in the bottom right of our screen that will have the enemies show up as red dots. Unlike other games that have radars, this doesn't have any sort of indication as to where enemies are above or below you. So, I didn't see at first that two of the enemies I have to take out are on top of what's left of the highway. It took me a moment to finally realize where I needed to go. Taking out the two that were next to the relay were fairly simple, and we got a chance to use our bionic arm to do it and practice our jump kicks. So that's at least one bonus. So we're next to a radiation zone. You can see the icon in the center of the screen, and we've also got this mysterious blue glow around here. I think that's another indicator. So that makes getting this particular collectible here pretty darn tricky. Trying to get it, I ended up dying, and you really need to just sit there and try and line up, make sure that you're reeled out as much as possible with your bionic arm. And you're just going to have to swing back and forth until you get it, and then make sure you release on the swing back so that you're flying away from the radiation zone.
TF-16 to base. Come in. Over. Relay Station 21 has been activated in Sector Echo 9er. Do we have a signal? Over. Order received, HQ. Securing area.
I think I see some! There! Below us!
HQ, guard here. Hostiles present. What's the order?
Nailed ya!
So just like in the original game, hacking is one of the main ways that we're going to be collecting information. We'll be able to get information on areas that we may want to go to or avoid, how we can get in and out of certain areas, and just overall game story is going to be one of the ways that we find out what's been going on in the world right now, what's been going on in the world in the past while we were locked up, and just what might be happening to us in the near future.
Do you read me?
I hear you.
Report, soldier.
The city's deserted and flooded with radiation. You never mentioned that in the briefing.
Remember that your bionics are extremely sensitive to radiation. Now get on with the mission and see what's out there. readings indicate that something is blocking your only way through. Is that a monorail car?
Chew on that!
You know how this goes, Spencer. We're updating the navigation points on your heads-up display in real time. Following nav points will always keep you on the right track.
All your fellow citizens are dead. Give up! Hold it!
We're having trouble tracking your position. The enemy jamming signal is blocking the homing device we placed on you. See if you can find the relays emitting that signal and shut them off. Then we'll be able to triangulate your position.
And why would I want you to do that?
Because we'll be able to resupply you through insertion pods of new weapons.
I can live with that.
Good. We got a fix on the closest relay. Follow the navigation points.
Safety on! Weapons ready!
Joe, I just saw something. I think it was the name of a terrorist organization. It said BioRain.
Just as we expected. It's the BioRain Militia. I'll prepare a file on it. You'll have it shortly. Don't get reckless. The enemy might be on you.
The save system in Bionic Commando isn't like most save systems that you're probably used to. At the main game screen, there are several game files that you can select, and that's going to open up a game for that file. As you're playing, your progress is auto-saved. You've probably been noticing in the lower portion of the screen, it'll sit there and pop up a little message sitting there saying that you've saved the area that you're in. That's the main way that you're going to be trying to make sure now's a good time for you to stop a game. Just pay attention. Usually whenever you enter into a new area, the game's automatically going to save. So you really won't lose a lot of progress when you go ahead and just quit. Even though the game sits there and gives you a warning that, any unsaved progress is going to be deleted, there's no actual way for you to specifically tell it to save. You just got to pay attention for when's a good point. So, I hope you'll continue to join me in the future. I'm going to be trying to get out a new video every Thursday for this game series. How long do you think it's going to take us to complete this game? A couple of weeks? A couple of months? Who knows? But thank you so much for watching, my little lambs, and I hope to see you again next time in the Digital Wonderlands.